Sorry for the wait, it's been a while. My second semester of the school year just started. The first week is over and it is 3:12 a.m., but we got a video to do. 2 videos ago, I did a video about me transcribing a solo without an instrument of Adam Larson's. A kind subscriber sent the video to Adam Larson, and Adam Larson sent me a book he just released today. So what we're going to do is part 2 of learning an etude from scratch. I haven't opened the book yet, so let's go ahead and dive in and see what's in there. As you can see, I got a new MacBook Pro 16-inch. I love it. It is beautiful. Okay, you can't tell me this isn't trippy. You literally put your fingerprint right here, and it opens. I can't get over it for some reason. By the way, check out my new YouTube banner. I actually really like that. I hired some guy on Fiverr to do it, and it only costed $5. It's kind of funny because every sentence he wrote kept saying, "Sir, here you go, sir. This is the product for you, sir. If there's anything you need, sir, let me know what you need, sir. Okay, sir?" And when he delivered this, I was like, "Yes, sir. Nice, sir. Yes, sir." I am the worst. Okay, so here is the PDF here. So let's go ahead and open this. Alright, here it is. I literally never opened this before in my life. So Little Leaps and Sounds, E-flat instruments. And of course he has this available for all instrument types. The link is in the description for this book if you're curious for it. Okay, so just by reading this, if you buy this you get play-along tracks, and it contains diagrammed harmonic analysis. Oh shoot. Wait, so this means on each etude he's gonna analyze everything he's doing. Wow, so that already sets this apart. So, you are all the things you are. Obviously, this is a contrafact over all the things you are. And yes, this looks very beautiful. Now, the first part already did all the things you are, so I'm going to skip this one. But, as you can see, the written analysis. So he talks about everything that's going on. I think this is actually going to help a lot. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do the next one. We see autumn. Obviously, this is autumn leaves. Oh, cool. So it has little quotes. Tenor sounds good. Clarinet sounds okay. Keep working on that flute. Ha! It's 2015. I sold my flute and clarinet a few years later. Okay, I'm seeing on each page here, he has fancy quotes from all kinds of different artists. This one here is my favorite. You should be far more concerned with your current trajectory than with your current results. Dang. I don't know who else needed to hear that. Alright, well just because autumn is the second one, we're just gonna go ahead and do this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my saxophone out. Alright, so before I begin, a million people usually ask what mic am I using. For some videos, I use this microphone. It is a Rode NT2A, and on other videos I use the phone. The phone's very convenient to set up. Now I use GarageBand, and I make sure that it's pointed towards my left-hand keys, and it's about 2 to 3 feet away. This is what it sounds like. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to analyze each measure ourselves, and then we'll fact check ourselves and see what's really going on behind Adam Larson's head. So the first measure just looks like he's going up the A Dorian scale. We land on the 13 of that D7, and then it just goes right back down scale tone wise, down the D mixolydian, which is diatonic to the A Dorian, and it just goes down and then up the G major scale. Right there we have an interval skip. It's 1, 2, 3, 5. C major 7 with that sharp 11 in there. This is a very popular extension for a major 7 chord. But if you look at it, this is just the 4 chord of a G major scale. So it's 2, 5, 1, 4. So really, all the way through, this is all just diatonic. So let's go ahead and play those first 4 measures. Awesome. So let's fact check ourselves. Let's see what Adam Larson said so far. The first 4 measures of this etude are exclusively diatonic to their chords. The first measure is an ascending Dorian scale. And the sound of concert B-flat major is played throughout the next 3 measures. That's what we said. Oh, I said G major on alto, but that's concert B-flat. Alright, so we're completely correct so far. Let's keep going. Okay, so F sharp minor 7 flat 5, aka F sharp half diminished 7. So here, all notes but one is diatonic to the F sharp Locrian scale. The one non-diatonic note is that F natural there. So why is that F natural there? That F natural is a passing tone into the E. So that note, yeah, that concert G, R, E, starting on this note, and the next note is an enclosure to the third of the next chord. You hear how those two notes wrap around it? So this is actually a really nice pattern I actually find myself using a lot. So it goes 3, 5, flat 9, and then leading tone to the root, and then right here, these are all just chromatic passing tones landing you right on the minor third of that E minor 7 chord. And then from then on, so what that is, this is your E melodic minor. What is a melodic minor if you don't already know? It is your major scale with a flatted third. Everything else is the same. Now in classical music, the tradition is when you ascend, you do this form, the melodic minor, and then when you descend, you go down the natural minor. So it sounds like this. In jazz, we kind of say screw that. We ditch that. Now I'm sure there's some jazz artists who do stick to the tradition, but if you are a classical player watching this, just curious about jazz theory and harmony, the standard melodic minor is this ascending version going up and down. So rather than this, you get this. And right here, this is what he does. Rather than this. Alright, so let's see what Adam Larson had to say about those measures. The sound in measure 5 is primarily that of concert A Lohengrin. In the green notes starting on beat 3 serve as a way to get to the target note, red note, on the downbeat of measure 6. The second green note in measure 5 is a chromatic passing tone to the 7th of the chord in the green notes on beat 4 and the plus of 4 serving as an enclosure to the downbeat of measure 6. B3, the next 4 eighth notes are an example of chromatic crawl from the root of concert D7 to the third of concert G minor 7. Oh wow, so that's an interesting term to call it, chromatic crawl. Chromatic crawling. Crawling everywhere. It's a lot of crawling. I feel like a baby again. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, so measure 9. Okay, so this is very melodic. So this is like a slightly delayed resolution to that 1. So he could have gone like this. But no. He did this first. But he delayed it by 1 more note. So instead of going straight to that that note, he puts a 9th above it, or I guess you can call it a 2nd, and then he resolves. So from that leading tone and that 9, you can call this an enclosure as well. That A being your target note. And then this is a nice little suspension. So it goes 4, 5, 3. When you reach that 3, then it's like, this is a D dominant 7. So da, suspension, third. This is like a passage to the resolution. So this is all traveling to that major third right on the downbeat. So this is real successful voice leading. And then right here, this is really nice. There is no perfect fourths, which is an interval that we try to avoid on a major 7 chord. Now sometimes you can make it work, but generally the rule of thumb is we just kind of avoid it. Unless it's like a passing tone, you'll very rarely see a perfect fourth on an ascending major 7 line. And right here is a classic example of you not seeing that. And right here, he does a chromatic crawl from the major 7th to the 5th. So you can be confident that if you're in a major 7 chord and you start on a major 7, you can play 4 chromatic notes down. And on that downbeat of 3, you'll land right on a 5th. So that's a pretty interesting resolution. He could have just gone to the 3rd, but he chose the 2nd. Ending on an extension is something Charlie Parker did a lot, you know. So it just adds variety, you know. It's fresh. So let's play it. So now let's go ahead and see what Adam Larson said about these measures. Measure 9. The green notes in measure 9 are an example of the half step below, scale above to chord tone approach. Okay, yes. If you did a purely chromatic enclosure, it would sound like this. Oh, and already that kind of hurts my ears. So a really popular enclosure approach is to do this leading tone, so the chromatic note below, and then a scale tone above. Now if you try to invert it, it's a little more tricky to get it to sound good. So this is what it would sound like if you did a chromatic note above and then a scale tone below. It just sounds like we went out of key, but it's more pleasant on the ears. Leading tones are powerful. Bach knew this before any of us, obviously, because he lived first. Measure 12 is another example of chromatic crawling. Crawling between the 7th of the chord to the 3rd. Oh, I think he meant to say the 5th, because G is the 5th of C major 7. It's okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and keep going. So measure 13. This is unique. Oh man, that was really cool. So funny that he does this. I recently took a jazz theory course here at the school, and we learned about flat 6 pentatonics. This is very convenient that I learned that before I made this video. And that's exactly what's going on here. So a flat 6 pentatonic is your major pentatonic, but the 6th note is lower down a half step. So rather than this, so you can find this pentatonic scale within a melodic minor scale. And the one that we can find it here, which is being used, is in A melodic minor, which is part of the mode he's using. He's using Locrian sharp 2. You see those G sharps? A normal Locrian would have G naturals. G sharp is Locrian sharp 2. So this whole measure is based off of A melodic minor, but he's navigating this A melodic minor sound by using the E flat 6 pentatonic. So this is really cool. So I guess like a little shortcut, you can tell yourself to instantly access this over a Locrian sharp 2 sound, or just, you know, your 2 chord of a minor 2-5-1 is go to the flat 7 and play flat 6 pentatonic. So F sharp, minor 7, flat 5, go to the flat 7, E, boom, your E flat 6 pentatonic will work because it's part of the A melodic minor sound, aka the F sharp Locrian sharp 2. Okay, we're gonna keep going. What do you know? He does it again. So going back to the F sharp minor 7 flat 5, we said it was part of A melodic minor, right? E is the 5th of that melodic minor. So if you look at your B 7 flat 9, you would know the instant access to your B altered scale is to go up a half step and play melodic minor in there. So B up a half step is C. So C melodic minor works over a B altered. And what is the 5th of C melodic minor? Is G. So that means you can use your G flat 6 pentatonic. And what do you know? That's exactly what he's doing. Okay. Okay, so this is cool. It sounds like you just resolved to B major, but really this is just a sound that's part of that E melodic minor. So he just used 3 different melodic minors in one line, which is pretty awesome. And then when you go down, that is your augmented triad. It's just stacked major thirds. And then 2-1. So let's go ahead and see what Mr. Adam Larson had to say. Yes, everything's so good so far. Alright, so measure 17 going on. Ooh, okay, so that's a little more sassy. So that first measure starts off with that Locrian sharp 2 sound again. And then that measure is just straight up C melodic minor, aka B altered. Another augmented triad right there. And then here, uses just chromaticism to navigate our way back into that E, which is the one on this chord, and then it goes down the E minor triad. It's almost a bluesy line, really. Alright, so let's keep going. Ah, wow, that sounded really cool. Wow, I actually really like that. Okay, so that first line, he's just going up, starting on a leading tone. He just goes up the A Dorian scale. And right here, he goes down the A minor 7 chord, starting on the flat 7 of that A minor 7. But when you take that D in consideration, so the root is a D, really what you have, this is a sus chord, and if you look at the next 2 beats, so the literal notes spells an A flat major 7 chord. I honestly don't know what you would classify this as. We'll see that in a second through the analysis, but we do see highlighted the 7th there. And then da-da-da, chromatic crawl from the 9 all the way down and lands on the downbeat of a 5th on that C major 7 sharp 11. And just goes up to scale, stops on the major 7 there. So now I'm really curious, what is his logic between that 2nd chord there? Measure 22 is an example of outlining the sound of a tritone substitution for the 5-7 chord by using the major 7 sound instead of dominant. This phrase is heard numerous times in the solos of Charlie Parker and is indeed where I found the information long ago. Oh, really? He just went up a tritone from the root and played major 7, which is pretty interesting. Okay, yeah, I did not know. I didn't know what he was doing there. Sounds really cool though. Dang, what was Charlie Parker on, dude? That man, so advanced for no freaking reason. Well, 15 hours a day for a bunch of years, I guess that's a good reason. But still, I feel like if I practiced 15 hours a day for 4 years, I probably wouldn't have got the results Charlie Parker did. I think he was just a genius. Moving on. Okay, so looking at this is all diatonic to G major, just because this is the 7th mode of G major, the F sharp Locrian. So nothing too surprising here. If you look at the actual note choice, it looks like he's kind of just outlining A minor stuff. And then here, so we actually have an F sharp here. So he's definitely outlining a B7 flat 9 rather than a B alt. And then here, so this is cool. So that's just a standard E minor triad starting on the 5th. And then here, he takes the first 2 notes and then lowers them both down a half step. So this gives you an E flat major triad. But in reference to the A7, that gives you a flat 9 and a flat 5th. Yes, so that top line is heard, but the harmony is also heard below it. And so that was just going up the D minor triad, and then, that flat 9. So E minor triad, E flat major triad, D minor triad, and then A flat. So it's walking down triads in chromatic steps. It's just minor, and then major, and then minor again. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep going. Last line. All right, last line. So starting on the 5th, he goes up the scale, and then when he lands on that tonic, he goes up a third to that third, and then 3, 5, 2, 1. So he avoided that perfect 4th very nicely, and you get a pretty nice sounding line. And then here, so this is outlining that B major triad, sticking a little flat 9 in there. And then, so that's just a long drawn out enclosure. Tonic. So that entire measure was just based off of E altered, aka F melodic minor. Wait. Ah, yes, Bach. Our inner Bach is coming out. Alright, so I'm just gonna drill this for a bit, and then we're just gonna play this sucker. And there we have it, folks. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want this book, which I greatly recommend because it has all the analysis in there for you, and when you know the theory behind the music, it sticks and you learn it like 20 times faster. Link to these books, regardless of what instrument you have, is in my description below. And thank you guys for 96,000 subscribers. That is insane. We're so close to that blue check mark. Man, when I get that blue check mark, I'm just gonna comment on every Super Smash Bros. Video possible, just so people will see it and be like, why are you here? Alright, well, have a good day.